Hi, I'm here with Andye Murphy to talk about her experience with spirituality and rock and roll. And Andye, I'm Laura Faith, author of I Found All the Parts, Healing the Soul Through Rock and Roll. And I'd love you to just share a little bit about your experience with the band Blind Melon.
Gladly. I found Blind Melon whenever I was young. Well, I guess 93 is when they were around. I was 15 at that point in time. And I immediately felt a connection to their music. And so, with that and the hormones of a 15-year-old, I immediately translated that to a very strong crush on the lead singer. They came through Houston, where I was living at the time, and they had not yet even had an album out. They had 4 songs whenever they had gotten this tour and gotten their record deal, so they were still pretty new to this as well. And my friend was able to, after they had finished their show, he was able to get Shannon's attention, and Shannon and I made a connection and met.
And who's Shannon?
Shannon Hoon, the lead singer of Blind Melon. Fantastic, very soulful fella. And at that point in time, as I said, I was 15, so there wasn't anything nefarious going on, certainly. But I gave him a ring, and it was a ring that was made of aventurine, and aventurine is a protector whenever you travel. And so I gave him this ring to protect him as he continued on the tour. And so within the band, from that moment on, I was known as the Ring Girl. And so anytime I would run into these guys at shows after that, oh, it's the Ring Girl. And I would always, get to go backstage and get led into clubs where they were performing that I was far too young to get into. So it was, kind of a fun experience. As I got older and they became more famous, they did finally release that album and a couple more. They were on tour, and they were playing in Houston. I was living in Austin at the time in college, and I was working late that night trying to get to their concert in Houston, and it was going to be a long drive, and it was late. And so 3 times during the drive, I had stopped and decided I wasn't going to take the 2.5-hour drive to Houston just because I was too exhausted and wiped out. For some reason, I kept driving, made it to the show, got to see a few of the songs, certainly not the entire concert that I was hoping. And the next morning, whenever I woke up, that was the night that Shannon had overdosed and had passed away. So I was, kind of always felt this big connection. Like I was there for one of his first shows before they even had an album, and then was there for his very last show as well. And whenever I was living in Chicago, maybe even not 5 or 6 years after that, I went to his grave and I placed there a piece of aventurine with him so that he can have safe travels on this second part of his journey as well.
That's great.
Yeah, that's my Shannon story.
And then how would you say that knowing their music or having had a connection with them, how has that impacted you on other levels?
Yeah, I think, music, especially for teenagers, it gives us a place of solitude. It gives us a place of expression that is unique to us. It's not our parents' music. It's not our siblings' music. This is something that we can really own that feels like ours. So for me, finding Blind Melon was, a way of starting to understand myself, to express myself spiritually, physically, emotionally, and also a place of refuge. Whenever the rest of the world didn't get me, I could kind of lose myself in the music and the lyrics and the words and the melodies, and that was always a safe place for me. So I feel like it's given me a safe place to stand on. Sometimes I'm even teased today whenever I still go back and listen to the music from 15 years ago, but it still resonates in that place in me that makes me feel safe, that makes me feel whole, and also, it's the blossoming of self is really what Blind Melon music still inspires in me.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Andye, for sharing your insights with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Laura.